Apparently, yeah, we're live. So today, I've got a few things to go through. I've been working a little bit in the afternoon today. So we made our new artifact. So I'll just show you what I did there. So I started on Miro. And we can have a look at that. So we have a representation of our leaves, which is our permanent upgrades, our sort of meta progress system. And what I did was I took the Startifact and I put it here and sandwiched it between these two, right? So that's the first step, just to make sure that everything's kind of visually easy to see here. The next step is to... Once everything loads, well, let's look at the script side. So if I go Startifact, you can see all the places where I've had to do something here. So I create the new, first I create the effect so that if we have the leaf that is called Startifact, if that is unlocked, then we open the UI, the artifact UI on start, basically, like as we load it. I'm expecting there might be a problem here, as in I might want to put it like a second later just so that everything's initialized. For example, it should almost certainly appear, just seeing this straight away, it should appear after we've unlocked the rerolls, right? Just as an example. What is this? For each leaf in... I see, yeah. So we want to do a fresh one here, because here is where we've done our rerolls. I see, yeah. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, no, it can go before that. Because it will come on. This won't interrupt that. But yeah, we might want it to come like a second after starting, just so that everything's initialized properly. Let me just check. Yeah, everything's fine here. So that's step one. And then on the beanstalk, so in the scene where we have our big, so this will be scenes, beanstalk, where we have all of our upgrade nodes, I then also have to do the connections there, right? So I have to put in this new button. I don't need to do the text. I just need to make sure that the name of it is exactly the same as what it is in the code. And then it's about drawing the connections. So I need to go into the title screen. And once again, I can go Startifact. And so that would be a leaf. I put it after damage and armor. And I say that for Startifact, yeah, we should have... So I've made a slight error here. So we should have damage 1 and armor 1 as the prerequisites, right? So we go damage and armor 1. So that just means that we need those in order to unlock it, right? And that will make everything work. And as long as that's correct, and then I make sure that the one above it, spawn speed, has this as a prerequisite. So that will mean that when I unlock Startifact, this one will branch out and present here, right? So that is Startifact. So that is an artifact, which means that as soon as you start the game, you get to choose an artifact, which is extremely powerful. And I think it's important to have it right at the beginning, making it a required part of development, because I just think it really helps build, you lean into your build that you want. I think it worked really well for Monster Train, because you would get your artifact right at the beginning, and that would define your following card choices, and it would just define your entire run which artifact you got at the beginning. So I think it's good to have. And then yeah, I just needed to do the image. We don't have a symbol that means artifact, so I've just used this sort of arrow symbol, which is the same for the rerolls. It's like the reroll symbol. But I am thinking of which ones are these? So this is upgrade choices. So you get more upgrade choices and more upgrade rerolls. Yeah. So it's the same color scheme as those. I wonder if I should have a symbol specifically for artifacts, or if this is fine. This is the only instance where it would come up, other than having it like on the artifact choice screen. But we don't have anything like that. So yeah, that's artifacts. So I've told you about that. The next thing I did was adding poison and plague. So I'm replacing mark and permanent marker with poison and plague. The reason for this is because we've just made all talents applied to the whole army instead of just the player hero, because I think that's a good idea. I think that's smart. It leans more into the USP of the game, which is you have an army. You are not a single survivor fighting against a horde of enemies. You have an army of units that are fighting against an army of enemy units. And so it's important that we really lean into our USP there, our unique selling point. And yeah, I mean, why not? It makes it more fun. The hero still gets more benefit from each of these talents, but also each of the other units gets a benefit. It's very powerful. It makes upgrades really punchy, really meaningful, and it sort of means we can up the temperature and have more enemy units spawn in sort of on the same terms as the main units, except without these lovely talents and artifacts. So that's cool. So how does that lead to mark and permanent marker? Mark suddenly doesn't really work at that point, because if everyone, it just becomes way less powerful than other upgrades. Becomes a bit boring. And then permanent marker, the selling point of permanent marker was that it would apply to all of your units. It was a damage bonus for all of your units, which in the past was pretty damn powerful. Now it's pretty standard. So I have changed that so I've changed mark to poison and permanent marker to plague. So what does poison do? So we can find all the instances of poison that I've added. So yeah, we've got this fairly hacky code here, where on these instances of, so on the AoE effect, where else do we have it? Add poison. There's a few instances where we mark, or like I just did the same thing we did for mark. It just makes it easier. It's just a shorthand for add the poison buff. It's very simple. In fact, we can go and have a look at that. Add poison. It simply adds poison. It's very, very simple. But because it shows up a few times, it's easier just to have this text. So yeah, we add poison. Where else do we put it? Yeah, we needed a new stat, which is poisoner for the user, because that's going to go up. Oh, have I done? Yeah. So then on the character, when we add the buff that is called poisoner, we make sure that that's the stat that goes up and down, right? So then we have our poisoned, not to be confused with poisoner, they're both buffs. Poisoner means you poisoned, poisoned means you've been poisoned, obviously. And it's very similar to fire in that it does damage based on the value of it. So every second, it's going to be ticking damage away. Jumping ahead a little bit, if you have plague as an upgrade, then whenever this ticks, it will. So yeah, we check if the player has the plague upgrade, the plague talent, and if they do, then we will spread poison to nearby allies, and it's the same poison, the same nearby enemies, right? Oh, and this should be poisoned, of course. So new buff poisoned, and it is poisoned, and I need to make sure that that's consistent. Poisoned, yeah. Well, we can do that while I show it. So then we have poisoner, and there we have. Oh, and there's actually a bit that I've missed. So yeah, poisoner, and then poisoned. Why is that not coming up as a? Oh, it's because it's not in the shorthand. Yeah. Anyway, poisoned. As far as, because the effect of poison, it's not a stat buff. It appears in. It's a tick damage thing. There's not actually any stat that it changes, but what we do want to do is show what it looks like. So in the case of being frozen or on fire, it's a sort of orange thing with some particles popping off. In the case of poisoned, it's going to be a green thing, and I haven't actually made that. So I'm going to make a note of that. Poison visual effect. Okay. And then what else did we do? Yeah, so we add it there. Poison effect. And then here's the fairly hacky code of, okay, so if we have the talent that is poison, then add the poisoner stat to the player, right? Which will mean that they are going to do poison of this value of 2, 3, 4, 5, depending on the strength. And then again, we do that for the units. So again, I'm just going to change this to poisoner, just so that at all points it's very, very clear between poisoner and poisoned. Okay. And then, as I showed you before, we have the actual code where we add poison. And where else do we have it? Yeah, ally instance I just showed you. Wait, hold on. Okay, yeah, because we have plague. Interesting. Yeah, we'll see how this goes. The upgrade is called poison. The buff is called poisoner. And we will have one for plague. In addition to spreading poison, it also increases the amount of poison damage. So it just becomes this pretty powerful... yeah, so again, poisoner. Just making sure the name doesn't really matter, but just for clarity. And so we're doing it, we go from 2.5 to 3.5 and then increasing it piece by piece again. Okay, so there's that. And then, yeah, we make sure that everywhere before that we did an add mark or add frostbite, which are both legacy now, we add the add poison, and that way I can be sure it will work, because these definitely worked. Why do I do it like that? Well, because... so rather than deleting this, I just, every time I change something like that, I just keep it there, because what if I want to change it back? Just keep it there, commented out. Okay, and then here's where we define the sprites, and we define the upgrade itself. Mega poison, and then down to, and then also each time, if there's an upgrade that so a combined upgrade that used to use mark, I need to make sure that that is using poison instead now, and it still makes mostly makes sense. And then the same with plague. I need to make sure that plague has the same prerequisites, so poison and spear in this case. And yeah, that's that. Added poison. There you go. Chain heal. Oh, so yeah, then I did some drawings for these. So I'll just show you. So I just, very, very simple, especially because I'm 95% certain that I'm going to overhaul the entire look of the game before we're done. Because I don't think this one is very popular. It's not very attractive. I don't think it's bringing many people to look at it. So I was very, very quick and dirty in making my poison and my plague sprites, just so that it's obvious what they are to me as a player and to anyone who's testing it. And then we did the same thing for... Oh yeah, and so then the other thing I did is I realized that I hadn't done a weapon sprite for chain heal. So there, I've done it there. I did actually do the code before, so that's another thing I did today. I didn't change anything, so discard changes. Okay. And then the next thing I wanted to do, which had been on my list for a while, was sorting out chain stuff. So we've got the orc weapon Skagnaz, which is orcish for lightning sword. And this is a chain type weapon, meaning it's basically chain lightning, except it's going to do much more damage, much more knockback, and is effectively a melee weapon. It looks like a melee weapon. I did think about making it that everyone who's caught within this area of effect attack would lead to a further chain, but it does start to get quite ridiculous in terms of code, and I thought, actually, I don't see how that's better. So I am just going to leave this as it is. Tell me if that's lazy or silly. The damage numbers are really stupid. Okay, I need to fix the damage numbers here. So, chain lightning. Not lighting. Lightning. Does 8, 9, 10, 11. So, Skag should do, and because it's a combination weapon, it should do a lot. I think these are good numbers, 24. I must have just forgotten to do this. I don't know why. So that makes sense. AoE could be a bit higher maybe. Like, a lot of stuff will need balancing. I'm not too concerned about balancing at this stage. I think that AoE is good. I like it to have a bit of AoE. And we go chain 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, meaning it will chain to quite a few people. We just need to see how it feels, need to see if it feels good, does it look good, and yeah, these numbers all will change a bit over time, right? And so I looked at where this chain was coming from. So we look at weapon container, and here is chain attack. I mean, long story short, I decided not to change it, not to mess with it. And so that's chain attack, and then we've also got magic attack, which is also a melee attack. That's because essentially a melee attack, they're both AoE attacks. It's just that a melee attack is at a shorter range. So actually, this script here, melee attack, is never called. It never happens. Doesn't happen at all. Magic attack does. Magic attack doesn't account for, and also the AoE that it creates, it doesn't account for chains, whereas this does. And I looked at this, and I also needed to make sure, okay, so that's Skagnazg, and basically we're just going to keep it as a chain attack rather than a magic attack that chains, because I think this is better, less complicated. And then we have, we have chain attack working for Skagnazg. We're not going to change that. And then we have, the other thing I wanted to figure out was chain attack for healing. And I had a good look at it, and I came to the conclusion that it will probably just work. Because what it does is it creates an AoE effect, which already checks... oh, thank you, darling. I started making a cup of tea. I don't know if you would mind finishing that and bringing it up if you get a second. Because I realised we didn't have milk. So... yeah, I mean, the chain... So yeah, this doesn't do chain, but this does account for... the AoE effect, whereas, yeah, so if I can go to this script, it does account for healing, right? So if it's a negative value, if the damage is less than 0, it will heal. Thank you. And if it's positive value, then it will do damage, right? Okay. Is that right? Yeah. I mean, it will do knockback and all of that stuff and add whatever buffs, but if the damage is less than 0, then we don't need to roll for evasion. I got a little bit confused because we have on trigger enter and we've got attack as well. And the reason it's like this is because we need to check for defenses, as in, is it going to be blocked? Is it going to be deflected? We need to check that before we actually do the damage, before we actually have the effect of the AoE effect, right? So on trigger enter is where we... And so what I did is I made a little comment for myself, and I said, right, attack is for blocking and deflecting, while on trigger enter handles the actual damage. And I burnt my brain looking at it for a while, because I did this a couple months ago, I guess. And this is fine as it is. I'm not going to change it. It works. It's economic as well. It's not too expensive. Okay. So the next thing is to press play and test it all out, right? On my list, so yeah, we'll save everything. Yeah, the poison visual effect. So let's just quickly do that, just so you can see as well how I did that. I don't suggest doing it this way if you're doing your own project, but this is how I've done it. This is just, yeah, this is the most efficient way for me to do it. So I have my character sprite renderer. So every character has this. This works for every character. Every character has this prefab inside them. And then we have a list of objects which are status effects, right? So fire looks like this, and it used to turn on a particle system as well. And as long as this has the exact same name as the buff that we're looking for, then it will work. So we have fire. Frost makes them a bit blue. Hello, Frost. Why is that not working? Fire is working. Why is Frost not working? Because it doesn't have the sprite renderer. So that's fine. The reason behind that is because... Thank you, darling.
I'm going to put it here, it's quite full.
Basically, when a character is made... Thank you. When a character is made, we take all of these sprite renderers that are supposed to represent them, and we make it match the original one. So that will work in the final version. So we're just going to make another one, call it Poison. And it should work out of the box. We'll see. I'm going to assume it's going to work, and we'll just make this greenish. Yeah, sort of a yucky, yellowy green. Not that one. This one. A yucky, yellowy green. Yeah? Maybe that's a bit intense. So we could, yeah, sort of a yellowy, but actually we can lower the alpha, I think. Or should we just make it a bit darker? A bit less saturated. Can make it a bit darker. That works well. And they are clearly poisoned. Nothing special, just very simple effect there. Alright. Poison renderer. I think, if I remember right, and this is just me going off memory, yeah, we have a list of sprite renderers, and I just need to make sure this one is added to that list. We probably could, I know, yeah, I think this is the reason I have it. I could just go through this object and find all the children of those objects and do it to that, but the reason I have it in the list is because this is going to happen every time we spawn a character. So we want it to be nice and light, and if we have to do like a for each loop, that's going to be a pain as opposed to just, or if we have to do like a find the child of the object, it's just ever so slightly cleaner, ever so slightly less expensive, ever so slightly more optimized. So yeah, we will turn that off by default. And yeah, there's more optimizations like that which we could do, but we're not doing them now. Okay, so that should handle that effect. Poison visual effect off my list. And the chain thing off my list. But I do need to test it, so test skag nazg and chain heal. And then the next thing really is actually to start on the next faction, which is really, really exciting. To start on the undead faction. So yeah, I do slightly different format for today. You're not seeing me do all my dev work for the day, but this means that if you are following these streams, if you are following this channel, you get a nice wrap up of the events. You don't have to sit through the long moments of me just staring at the screen like a zombie. I will show you. Wait, do I already have the mirror? I already have the mirror open here. Have I plugged Miro yet? Miro don't give me any money, but I definitely recommend them. So here's how I design a new faction. Okay, that's just a little note. So we have our human beings, green beans, which are the orcs, and the black beans. And what I do is I fill out each of the weapons and allies and talents that they should have. Talents are mostly the same. And I then draw these arrows which show the combinations, right? So the evil sword plus icicle will create ice grieve. Ice is kind of like another word for frost, and grieve is kind of like another word for mourn. Don't know if anyone gets that reference. But anyway, that would be like a very edgy, cool sword of icy magic for some kind of undead knight of death, that kind of thing. And so what we do is we start just drawing these connections so that, yeah, I mean, Edgelord is a type of soldier you'll have. It's like the Lord here on the human side, but it's the Edgelord. So it will do basically the same thing. And every time I come up with an idea, I'll want to fill this out. So if you want to see that, I think that's what we're going to do tomorrow. Tomorrow we're going to start filling this out. And then making it. And we'll see how fast, if we can speed run making a fraction. Because, of course, if all the... What's Night of the Dead? Reign of Chicken. Oh, okay. Because undead can't heal, so they won't be using chicken. But we'll have a sort of... If you have that, it will be like an increased spawn rate or something like that. And then, yeah, we start building the connection. So it'll be like, okay, Chain Lightning plus Icicle would be Stormcloud. And we have to make sure that each one only has 2 exits and only 2 entries. And as long as that's true, it will work. And then once it's designed in this nice, easy to manage visual space here, then we go through and do the code, and then we go through and do the pictures. And then we have our new faction, the Undead, which is going to be awesome. I'm looking forward to that. Today, as I said, we're just kind of going over what I've done earlier today for this stream. It's just me breaking it down for you, giving you the short version. And we're going to play a little bit. So I'm going to pop in my headphones so I can hear it. And yeah. And I expect to run into bugs. We've already had a couple, like with the way rations work. Because, of course, giving the hero and the allies the same amount of rations wouldn't work. And I can straight away... I'm going to straight away try out Chain Heal. Oh, no, that's not Chain Heal. So I've got Chain... Yeah, so... Oh, well, straight away he's not hitting them with... Oh, there it is. Yeah, so... Is Chain Heal working? Yeah, it is. And it looks quite cool. Maybe we need to make a more friendly looking lightning for the chain effect. Oh, yeah. I do need to think about how Chain Heal works. I do need to think about how Chain Heal works because... Okay, let's... I think it's... Yeah, I think that's working already. Yeah, I'm healing. And it is it's not targeting enemies, is it? No. That is healing. And it's not targeting enemies. Okay. It could probably look a little bit nicer. Yeah, okay. Cool, that works out the box then. That's nice. Okay. Because it inherits the target data from the user, basically. That's great. I was worried I would have to, like, change that. Okay, so, but I'll still choose the Orc, and I will still choose that difficulty, and I will still choose this level, because I want to see how easy this is. Actually, I am going to go for a fresh save file. That's a little issue, is when I... So, and at the... Wait. I must have added the feature to do this in-game. If not, then I need to put that on my list. Are you sure you want to reset your save? Yes. Okay, and I can tell that's worked because it's changed the volume. Bear with me. Yeah, so tutorial. If I remember right, it was like that needs to be 1 to the right. The music should be off, but the master volume should be 1 tap to the right. Yeah. And then that's the right level so that it doesn't annoy you, the listener, but you can still hear it. And you can still hear me speak. And yeah, I guess we'll do one of Sean in the Plains. See how it goes. This would be the first thing a new player would see. And yeah, we skip the character select screen on the first go. When you earn enough XP, you will level up and choose an upgrade. Your first upgrade will always be an ally. Allies spawn every few seconds and fight for you. Right click on any upgrade for more details. Okay, that works. What's a hammer? Ah, then we get all of the information. So if you do want all the info, it's there. This is ugly. This isn't very nice. But it will do for now. We do need a full overhaul. Basically, once I've finished programming the game, I want to get in... either get someone to help me with this or just do it myself. I need to just completely redo all of this. But I guess this simple version is like nice enough to look at for now. And helps me see what's going on, and it helps me get an idea of what information needs to be on screen and where. Okay, what should I pick? Let's pick mage. I like mage. I like wizards. I like fireballs. I mean, generally, the kind of person who identifies with a mage is the kind of person who plays games, while the kind of person who identifies with a warrior generally wouldn't be a gamer, I would think. Weapons, red, are equipped to your hero. Talents, green, apply to your whole army. Your hero receives double the benefit of talents. Right-click on any upgrade for more details. Okay. Is that clear? Is that annoying? I think that's a bit awkward. Talents, green, apply to your whole army. Talents are buffs, which apply to your whole army. I mean, a weapon is self-explanatory. A talent is not. So, apply. So if I just, rather than digging through the files to your, just do a search for that exact line. Say weapons red. Never mind the localization just yet. Talents are passive buffs, which, right? Yeah, that works. Okay. Increase move speed by 10. Yeah, so that's been explained. It's been explained that everyone's going to have their move speed increased by 10, except for the player who's going to have it doubled, right? Okay, yeah, the whole... I haven't played the game like this yet. I haven't. Be super aggressive to build momentum. You must protect your army so it can grow. You will fully heal when you level up. Your army won't. Your army's health is more important than yours. Get in there. Okay, so we've got some... Yeah, I think that's right. Like, ideally, I would teach people through the essence of game design that they have to be aggressive. But I think it does help just to tell them, be aggressive. For players, if you've played like Warcraft 3 or Age of Empires and you're familiar with heroes and units around them, you know that your hero heals when they level up, and you know that your hero can heal and might have a passive healing effect while your units don't. So you already know that you need to be aggressive with your hero. But if you haven't played those kinds of games, or you're not smart enough to make that connection, I think having that little bit of info helps. Upgrades can be combined to make super powerful upgrades. The green squares above an upgrade choice show which existing upgrades this one can be combined with. The red squares show which upgrades this one will consume. Okay, is that too much information at once? Let's move the... I'm tinkering here. I shouldn't be tinkering. This would be in HUD where we have our timer, just because that's where we present the time. So it might as well be where we store the time. And we say at minute 1, we do this aggressive tutorial. And I think maybe that would be better at minute 2. Scroll scene. So maybe it would be better at minute 3. Open welcome panel. So we just need a complete copy. If minutes is equal to 3, then do that. Okay, that's good. Just so we're not overloading the player too much with information. Alright, armor. Attack speed. A dagger. I mean, attack speed seems good, right? And let me just check that has indeed applied. I mean, it definitely has, but just for the sake of... Because it's not going to be clear just by looking at it. Oh, shouldn't open that. Just so it's clear by looking at it, we have enemy container, ally container, soldier, and attack speed X, but we want a new... It would only apply to the new ones. Guess I'll just check again in a little bit. Should it apply to the existing ones? Let's try and grab one. Mage. Attack speed 1.1. Good, so that's worked. Should it apply to the existing ones? I think that might be asking a bit much. I mean, it's just not necessary. Yeah, nice. Okay. Yeah, damage, why not? I think that gets meatier for us. But yeah, all, like things like damage feel really good now, and it's like, so before, and this is the last time I've played this game, talents only affected the hero character. Now they affect your whole army, and it just feels quite a bit better now, I think. It's like, oh yeah, now my army is strong. Okay, this game is about my army, it's not about me. I think that's better. That's more of what I want to get across with this game. Oh, hello, problem. This is to be expected. Ah, okay. Yeah, because we've replaced... Why wouldn't we have this? If the icon for that buff, if we can't find that, then don't destroy it. Okay. Yeah, so that's going to come up. And do we have damage? Is that damage 2, or would that have interrupted the adding of the buff? I don't think it should have interrupted the adding of the buff. Okay, so we also need to look at these ones at the top left. Talent icon. I think that's what I've called it. Okay. So then we say talent icon dot text equals for the need to make sure the text for that talent icon, so talent dot name, because it should be saying talent icon. Okay, so let's find that. Display for talent slots green background equals talents. Okay. So the name talent, so damage. Oh, so what have we got? We've got armor. Okay, so first one is called 1. Okay, so that should be saying damage 2. So you know what? Let's should we restart? Because that's just going to keep happening. We're not going to be able to upgrade our talents, which is like, there's no point testing the game if the game is not its proper version. Yeah, and it's still showing me armor. Huh. Why is that happening? Why is it deleting the older one? That's odd. So I picked armor and it replaced. I'm just gonna like put that down to some side effect. Like, why on earth did that happen? This could be one of those really tricky bugs that who knows how to fix. Don't worry about this. Wake up. That's just to do with the animator. It just happens sometimes. It will go away if I restart. Okay, yeah. Yeah, let's see if that happens again. In fact, let's be quick about this. I think character has cheat, level up. Yeah, I want to turn this on, just so I can test this out. So that's just a cheat, which just allows me to level up by pressing L. Why didn't that take? Okay. Combo scene. I mean, that one works. Why is that not showing again? But that one is. Talent scene. Combo scene. Yeah, it's the exact same for both. Huh. Okay, never mind. Different problem altogether. Okay, yeah, so we'll pick... Okay, we didn't have armor to begin with, So that deals with some confusion. Boots. Damage. I'm just going to pick all the... Yeah. This is working as intended. Okay, so I think it must have just been some funk to do with the removing the buff icon, like failing to remove the buff icon, because that's one thing I changed. Before, you would have all buffs would appear at the bottom left, including the ones that come from talents, and then I thought, hold on, that doesn't make sense. Why would I show it here and here? The bottom left is just solely for temporary buffs. If anyone's watching during or after the fact, most of you watch after the fact, but do let me know if the sound levels are incorrect. And yeah, let's do this run. Try and enjoy it. I say try because I have done this many, many times now. Okay, why is this coming up again? Talent scene. Why is this coming up again? Ah, okay. So that is coming up. No, because it still shouldn't be happening. We're still asking, is talent scene false? So why... I don't know why we're showing that, even though we've clearly done that already. And why is it showing it for upgrade? If upgrade scene is equal to false. Otherwise, check if talent scene is false. Is it because of if I put a debug here, it will show me where it's coming from. Very odd. Okay. Okay. So yeah, it's quite easy to just very quickly build up your army. Okay, I think it's just showing. I don't know why it's acting strange. Oh, I think I understand. It's because like the game save, like it doesn't save that you've seen a tutorial, but it saves some things. I think it just hadn't saved properly, but the first one had saved for whatever reason. Probably because we'd looked at the menu. I think that's why. Yeah, that's why. Okay, let's check this. So we want to grab that soldier. Sorry for all the pausing and everything, but we are here to work, not to play. This one's a new one. It's a new soldier. Give me the new soldier, please. It's going to grab everything but the thing I want to grab first, isn't it? There we go. And his HP has gone up by 10%. Sorry, max health. I mean, he hasn't been hit yet. Where is max health? You'd think that would be easier to find, right? Is that a hidden one? He's got buffs. Where is max health? Is it private? Is it... Character... Max health Max health, yeah. So that should be the top one. Oh, yeah, there it is. 33. Silly me. Yeah, okay, that's correct. And then if we divide it by 110%, if we divide it by 1.1, that should be... I'm so bad at maths. Just because like for some reason this just doesn't click with me. 33 divided by 1.1 equals 30. Okay, it is correct. All right. Yeah, let's get Icicle. And we should get Poison if we see it, just to make sure it works. I mean, maybe I should have tested that before starting a test run. But I haven't had much time to play the game for a while, so I kind of just want to play it. Alright, heal, attack speed, shield bearer. Shield bearer is good. Yeah. Thank you. Nice, yeah, it's correct amount of HP. Poison. Wait, is that everyone? Why is poison not being added? Ah, I know why. I know why. Poison. Duh. Okay. And is that what I've called it on the sprite renderer? So go prefabs, character sprite renderer. Yeah. This is incorrect. Poisoned. That's why it's not showing up. Okay, so we don't get to see that this time. Okay, crit rate, rogue, boots. So this will be crit rate for the whole army. Boots. Let's go crit rate. Crit rate's always good. And that's how we'll make Flame of the West. Used to be called Flaming Sword. But I think Flaming of the West is quite nice. Not just for the Lord of the Rings thing, but I quite like boosting Western morale. I think that's a good thing. We need more of that. Right. Damage. I mean, damage is good now. It's not just because it's not just my damage; it's everyone's damage. Yep. And it takes sufficiently long to bring down a heavy orc. That's good. And we're kind of just outnumbering our enemy, which is that's the USP of the game. That's, you know, it's about having big groups of units. Okay, yeah, let's go ahead and get this so that we can wait a sec. Icicle combos with poison. It's late in the day. That's the only reason I'm confused. So I just need to consult my Miro. Poison plus Icicle equals Ice Beam. Yeah, that does work. That does make sense. Okay, yeah, so I want Spear because I do want to see Plague in action. Although I'm not really going to see it. I'll have to... And yeah, yeah, let's save this. This won't interrupt my play session. This is me updating this sprite renderer. And this should mean that whenever a new unit comes in, they'll have the correct stuff. There's a drummer and a shield bearer just looking menacingly at each other. Two characters who don't have attacks. All right. Okay. So we already have utility from the shield bearer. Dagger ain't so great. The shield bannerman isn't so bad. Yeah, it's a good set. Yeah, let's push for this combo. I wonder if actually poisoned is even working. Because I should be seeing like enemies constantly having their HP tick down. Is poisoned working? I need to test that properly, so in a clean environment. So test Skagnaz and Chain Heal, yeah, they do work, and test poison. And we have looked at the rations HP amount. Oh, my to-do list for this game is very small. Look, I'll show you. Look at that. Test poison, and then it's start on undead factions. Very exciting. All right. I feel like if poison was working, because I know fire's working. Is fire even working? Sorry about this. Popping in and out. Fire. And then over here. No, up here. Buffs.name is equal to poisoned. So it should be debug.log should be taking poison damage. And this, how much damage should they be taking? And that's something we'll have to check next time. Yeah, I'm not convinced it's working. I don't think it's working. Okay, we don't have a healer, so I'll be the healer. Yeah. Also, I want to check something. Yeah, the healers prioritize everyone except themselves, which is good. That's how I want it. Okay, congratulations. You have obtained an artifact. Artifacts are boosts which can affect you and your whole army. If combined with the right upgrades and other artifacts, they can be extremely powerful. This is true. Okay. Yeah, so killer heal, as you can see, this is going to mean that, and I need to test this, we'll see if it breaks the game, but it should mean that every time one of my units kills something, so if they get the killing blow, they should heal a little bit. Which could potentially mean a build where I don't really need a healer. Lovely. Lovely, lovely. And it should feel easy. It should feel easy because this is the easiest setting. This is like, have at it, have a free go. Kill the baddies. Okay, I think they are taking poison damage. I'm seeing these little 3s pop up. But am I poisoning as well? So let's see. Do I have? I mean, is it that? Like, we just need to see where in the chain this process is broken, right? So for Sean, he has Poisoner 5. And my allies... Is it that we're not always asking that when we should be? And then my allies... let's look at ally container. He has Poisoner 1. So he's got the old version. What if we look at a different one? Should be higher than that. Some of them should have higher poison. Yeah, 1.5. I feel like my allies are poisoning people, but I'm not. Huh, it's very odd, eh? Like, why are they not being poisoned? Or why does it feel like it's not happening? Yeah, like that wolf, I'm just looking at specific units and being like, why are they not taking a bunch of poison damage? That one is, but that one was on fire. So the fire damage is working, but the poisoned isn't. So this one's just been hit. Let's see if I can find that one. Let's turn off gizmos. I think that means it hard. Easier to select things. Okay, so this one like has probably only been hit recently. I doubt it's gone 4 seconds without being hit. And upgrade buffs. It should have buffs. Poison 1.5. Ah, the name of the buff is called Poison, not Poisoned. Need to fix that stupid mistake. So when we add poison, the buff that we're adding is not called Poison, it's called Poisoned. Very stupid of me. Very, very stupid of me. Okay. Yeah, I mean, not much I can do right now. We've just got a dead upgrade there. So, oh god, I'm low on health. When did this happen? When did I lose so much health? I need to level up quick. Okay, something's happened. I think I'm going to have ridiculously high health. Yeah, so when did that happen? And is that happening for all of my units? Let's look at a new one that pops in. I think that one just popped in. That's above me. How much health do you have? Max health, 120. That's correct. So, shield bearer has... Let me look at the prefab. Yeah, but I think that is about right. So, sprites. Heroes, human beings, allies, human beings, shield bearer. 4 should have 70 health. So where is he getting that health from? I think something's gone wrong. I think something's gone wrong with the way that health is being done. So I think I might need to make like a separate stat for like health increase, right? So what's happening here? So buffs doesn't actually have any buffs. Wait a sec. Why doesn't he have any? He should have buffs. If he's got that much HP, he should have buffs. Something's gone horribly wrong. This is to be expected. I've done quite a lot of changes recently. But we have rations. So max health times equals 1. Have I like... So straight away that's an issue. Okay, so if I'm dividing it by less... I'm so bad at maths. Maybe I shouldn't be a game dev, but let's say we had 33 divided by 0.1 equals 330. Wait, times equals... Yeah, is times this value by that, so... And then minus, and then max health plus equals buff dot value. Right, so when we get the rations buff, we have been... $33 divided by 0.1. So that's going to be like making it higher. But if it's 33 divided by 1.1 is the original number. So each time these guys are getting respawned, their HP is going up a lot. But then how is that working for the hero character? Because he's not getting respawned. As you can see, like the struggles of making a game when you're not very good at programming. Right, so we have buffs, damage, crit rate, rations 2. And why isn't it coming up as a buff? So this guy doesn't have a buff? Yeah, they should all have buffs. Ooh, what's going on here? Huh? What? I think that's an issue of pausing in the middle of the game. Okay, wait, so... It's like, it's just the shield bearer. Because all of these soldiers should have... Okay, I think I might know what's going on here. So ally, spawner, ally instance, add buff. Okay. Spawn ally. So this should be happening every time they spawn. So why, so I've got, and this is really annoying that it's not starting now, even though I haven't changed anything. So why, so I've got damage, I've got poison, I've got crit. Why are they only getting buffs from the banner? And I swear that a second ago, it looked like they did have all the buffs that should have come from the talents. Okay. It's because it's an else. Oh, that's got to be it. Why is it an else? Because I think I copied it from the player. So we want to say... upgrade.names is equal for each upgrade. I mean, it can't. So I've got armor and I've also got rations. If upgrade.name is equal to armor, then. But it's doing it for each. But maybe I should just go and get rid of all these else words, else space, and just delete all of that. But I'm really confused. So we're adding the buff. So a new unit should be coming in with all of those buffs. And not even, and every time we spawn one, they should be coming in with a buff. So why aren't they? On spawn. Spawn ally. Get that ally instance. Do the weapons. And I swear I was looking at some of them a second ago and they had all of the buffs. So the ones that have been despawned. Yeah, some of them have got these banner buffs. But why have none of them got any of these buffs? What would the else do here? I don't think that should ruin it. It's like saying if you've got the armor upgrade, then give you a buff which improves your armor. The reason we do it with buffs is because it can then be removed easily. Else, and if it's not called armor, then look at yeah, I mean, I guess we can get rid of these else's because I don't really know what they're doing. Like, because both can be true. It could have armor and rations. I've got armor, so we do that. And the upgrade is called armor, so I do that, and then it won't do any. It won't go to the next one because, and I just feel like that's better. Like that's less expensive. Let's try this out specifically. So I don't know why. I don't know why they're not getting these buffs. So let's just keep it very simple. Okay, so this guy should have spawned in with some armor. Soldier. Buffs. List is empty. So they're not getting buffs. Is he getting the benefit of the buffs? Does he have some armor? Yeah, he's got 0.1 armor. So why? So that's where there's a problem. That's a problem. That's definitely a problem. Because if he's getting the armor, but the buff doesn't appear here. permanent, so it shouldn't be ticking down. So buffs.clear. No. Is that the problem? Because we're clearing buffs. This shouldn't happen. I don't think we should be clearing buffs. Because what we do is we remove them. Yeah. So we should say on spawn, remove all the buffs that they have. And then, okay, and then remove buff, ally instance does remove buff. Okay, so we are telling it to remove all the buffs twice because we're saying on spawn. Reset buffs. This is on a character. So this happens every time a character is spawned. And then when is on spawn called? When is on spawn called? It's going to be on spawn. Common spawn. Okay, so when we spawn an ally, we do that. So on spawn... So let's go remove buff. So it's happening anytime anyone is spawned. We're removing all their buffs. So we don't need to do it anywhere else. We're saying spawn ally here. What is this? Yeah, we don't need this here. Ah, this is just to replace... Okay, that's buff to remove. Alright, that's fine. We're removing any previous buffs that have the same name, and this is us, like, when we spawn an ally. Okay. God, I've created a bloody spaghetti maze for myself here, but... You live and you learn, don't you? Buffs.times, yeah. So we remove buff when it's run out of time. We remove all buffs when a unit spawns. Remove buff as opposed to buffs.remove. It actually like undoes the effect of the buff. So if they had a damage boost buff, it removes that damage boost. Okay. So on start, when we were saying buffs.clear, it's like clearing those, it's deleting all those buffs, meaning that when we remove the buff, like we're not removing the effect of the buff. Okay. Remove buff. That's the actual thing that's itself. It's called here on buffs that share the name of the one that we've added. So it's like, although that seems irrelevant. Okay, so that should do it. So why did we have buffs.clear on a character? I think that must be legacy. That must, like, there's no reason for that to be there, because anytime we remove a buff, we should be using the remove buff script. Otherwise, we run into issues. So let's press play and see if it works. I think that should have fixed it. And yeah, no, I don't need that debug anymore because we figured that one out. Okay, this is game dev. It's like you go in with an intention of doing something, and you're like, yeah, okay, that's going to be the what I'm going to do this day, and then you end up down some bloody rabbit hole that you don't understand to figure out why this silly little thing that you thought was fine isn't working anymore. But this is actually a new thing because it's this whole thing of having talents apply to the whole army, and so this is new. So we're going to grab a new ally. Thank you. And we're going to check that they have damage increase, and they've got the damage buff. All right. All right. And the player character, the hero, has max health of 150. Okay. All right, so that I think that should fix that. And also, I want to test poison. Okay, so that's probably why that wasn't working. None of them were poisoning because those buffs were being removed. But then why wasn't I poisoning anyone? And yeah, we must have been adding the buff, but not removing it. So you think they poison people a lot, rather than not at all. Fire damage is working. Oh yeah, I already figured this out. Okay. Because I misnamed poison to poisoned. But let's just test it. Okay, yeah, he's a bit green and he's losing health. Yeah, and my new units are all the units I got since, and yeah, they're poisoning them and doing 1 HP. Okay, so that's working. Alright. Alright. What else did I want to test? Okay, so that's fine. Poison is fine. Test poison. I can take that off my list. Okay. Why did my main character's health go through the roof? Was it even? So that's a lot of things. That's a wide search pattern there, but so we're saying we get more max health every time we level up. Okay, I just need to keep an eye on this and make sure that it is working. Like, why did I end up with so much health? And why did my main character end up with so much health? Is it because of something to do with upgrading rations? And I think I did figure that out in that case, because when we were removing the buff rations, we were actually still increasing it. Because we say rations. So if we max health times equals, so if the rations, if we have the first set of rations, it's 10% for a character. We times equals, so if I've got 30 HP, so we say 30 times 1 plus 0.1 is 33. Okay, and then and then for some stupid reason, because I'm stupid, I didn't have the 1 here. I was just doing that. I don't know how I was that stupid, but I was. Ah! That should be a plus, not a multiply. Okay. Okay. It's really embarrassing doing this on stream, because these seem like really stupid things, and they are. But if you're a dev, you know. If you're a dev, you know that we make stupid... We do really stupid shit. It's like that's why bugs happen. If we were smart all the time, or if we weren't stupid, then bugs wouldn't really happen. But because we leave these epic mistakes in there, bugs do happen. Alright. Alright. So, we want to do some balancing runs. Okay, so I want to say tentatively, I don't want to jinx it, but I want to say, I think that's everything fixed now. That's everything fixed now. Don't worry about this. This is to do with the animator window, and this goes away if I restart Unity and doesn't cause any problems. I just can't be bothered to restart Unity just to get rid of that annoying error message. Anyway, one quick thing I can do is, yeah, we're at version 1.0.12 now. All right, let's go straight to trying out the orcs. And do we have any other levels? Not yet. Let's see. I mean, because now the whole game has changed. The title of this video is not clickbait, because since I last played it, the game has changed drastically. Because all the talents now affect my whole army, and also the artifacts. So it should play very differently to how it did before. So, and I just want to make sure, and so the one thing that I'm really not sure of is the orc faction balanced with the human faction? Drummer... Yeah, although... No, give me Goblin. Give me Goblin level 2. Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, we're doing fine. Yeah, I like orcs. I mean, I can't just pick what I like. I need to test things. But yeah, orcs. Let's have orcs. Who likes goblins? Who likes goblins more than orcs? Like, who actually likes goblins as opposed to, like, they're useful because they're the ones that everyone doesn't like? I mean, I guess some people play Warcraft and they play as the goblins. But that's probably just because they were a newer faction. They have tactical advantages. But who actually likes goblins? I don't know. I don't know of anyone. Alright, yeah, let's test out this rations, because that's the one I'm most afraid of. I think what was happening is every time I was replacing the old rations with the new one, I was actually drastically increasing my health, because I was getting rid of the old one, which was increasing it, because I was dividing it by less than 1. And I was also adding the new one to it, so the health was getting out of control. That's why that was happening. Probably the kind of thing that like a seasoned programmer would kind of mistake that they would never make, or someone who's like good at maths or focusing or stuff like that. It's the kind of mistake they wouldn't make, but for me, it's the kind of mistake I make. Alright, chain here, let's give that a whirl. So we've decided that orcs can heal. It's the undead who we're going to say you can't heal, but we're going to give them lots of ways to summon more units to balance that out. Yeah. Yeah. Rogues are replacing wolves, and yeah, I mean, I feel like I'm fighting against the Alliance. This is fine. Yeah. Okay. How much health do I have now? I have 187. Where does that 187 come from? Wait. Ha! There's something happening here. Buffs difficulty 1. Hold on. What is that all about? Why is that a buff? Does that do anything? I think this is just an inconsequential bug. Yeah, doesn't do anything. All right, I just need to make sure. That that's not thought of as a buff, and I think I can do that by doing this. Just no effect names, no values, and that means it won't try and add a buff of that name. Okay, Orko, max health 187. What did he start with? Let's find the prefab. It's about right though. Yeah, I think I see what's happening as well. So if I added some HP after this buff has been applied, and because the hero gets HP every time you level up. So yeah, I need to have like a separate pool of HP that is coming from rations. Yeah. So we would have our base HP and our base HP plus any HP boosts, because we would always just want to multiply by the base HP. I'm bad at maths. Okay, so Orko has that much HP, and he should have heroes, Orko. Yeah. And then I think it goes up by like... Well, okay, well, let's see what happens here. So we go rations. So it was 187. And now it's 203. That seems about right. It's gone up by like 18.7-ish. Uh, 187. So this would be 187 plus. Oh no, it would be 203.45 minus. No, what are you doing? Clear. 203.45 minus 187.8 equals 15.75. And if our health went from increasing by 10% to 20%, then maths. I mean, I would think 10% of 187. So we've increased it by 10%. Should be more than that. I don't know what I'm missing here. And rations. I mean, it's okay if rations kind of like multiplies things out of order, because it's still just more HP, as long as it's not drastically different. Let's have a look at the next orc that pops up. So that'll be this one. How much HP have you got? 103.5. How much HP should you have? So we have a what is the global HP. Yeah, 1.5. So an orc, this orc has 103. If we look at the prefab, orc has 50. So then plus 1.5 would be 75. How much does this have again? 75. 75 times 1.2. No, 1.2 equals 90. So how did we get to 75? Oh, 1 point. Well, it should be even more than that then. Sorry, yeah. Should be even less than that then. So where is he getting his extra HP? Yeah, he just has the axe. Okay, yeah, I mean, I think I just need to do this base HP plus increased HP. So, like... I mean, as long as these things don't get completely out of hand. But yeah, here we have an orc on 99. How did we get to 99 HP on this orc? With rations level 1. 99. I mean, at least it's fairly consistent. But I feel like if this one was to disappear and then come back, right, like which is what happens with the object pooling. Yeah, so how do we get to 82 HP? How do we get from 82 HP to sorry, I shouldn't be looking at... I should be looking... Yeah, max health, 99. Oh, because that's a higher level orc. Right, so 82, 82. So this one doesn't have it. And yeah, this is 82 plus 10% of 7.75, which would be 7.5. So yeah, this is 75 plus 7.5. That's a 10% increase. This one has... Yeah, and that's all of that. And then this one... So Orc 2... Okay, yeah, that's why. So Orc 2 started at 60. 60 times 1.2 equals 72. So how did he get to 99? Oh, because it's 60. So it's 60 times 1.5 equals 90. 90 plus 10%, because this one's got level 1 rations, is 99. 90 times 1.2 equals 108. And we've got slightly less than that? Why have we got slightly less than that? Why have we got slightly less than that? $99. Oh, because it's not 1.2, it's 1.5. So that's right. Okay, so 108. No, it's 90 times 1.15. Is the shorthand for this video watch an idiot make games? Look, I know games, I don't know numbers, alright? Okay. Okay, here we go. That is consistent, that works. What does armor and rations do? Armor. Rain of chicken. Okay. Yeah, let's get shaman. I like shaman. Shaman? I don't know. I'll have to call it after this run. Loot Goblin. Yeah, that sounds fun. Let's get one of those. They collect loot for us, and I want to double check that they do in fact do that. Yep, they do. So not your usual. Okay, and let's check poison. Yeah, poison's working. And then I guess the next thing that I'm going to have to check and bug fix is Startefact. But for now, let's just see how I get on with my Horde of Orcs. Is it balanced? I mean, it should be roughly balanced. But let's see. Hits with this. Yeah, let's get... attack speed is suddenly really good now. Because it works for the whole army. So I'm actually excited to get a talent now. Whereas before I wasn't excited to get a talent. Talent was like, oh, talent only applies if I've got a hero focused build. I really don't understand why I did it like that. Or why it took me so long to figure out that that was incorrect. And I'm just kind of picking random upgrades. No need to overthink it. And yeah, it does just feel like I'm just like upgrading my army. And it feels good. Because it really is like playing in a sort of more laid back way. Because it's like, yeah, it doesn't depend so much on me getting in there and doing the damage. I'm just kind of watching my army do it. Okay. Okay, chance to heal 5 on debuff. None of these guys do debuffs. None of these guys do ice either. So, Frostbite shouldn't be available to green beans. So these are element-specific artifacts. I don't know if I've discussed elements before, but humans have fire and ice, orcs have fire and lightning, and undead have lightning and ice. So neither of these are good picks. Also, lightning doesn't do a debuff. Well, we've got poison. Lightning doesn't do a debuff. Should it do a debuff? Just to make it fair. So, like, all elements do a debuff. Fire does a debuff. Frost does a debuff. Lightning doesn't do a debuff. What debuff would it even do? It'd be like a very brief paralysis, right? Okay, yeah, so lightning should... attacks should do a very brief lightning, like paralysis debuff. Okay, and... Or maybe it should just slow like lightning? Like ice? No. It should do a very brief paralysis. And the amount of time that you're paralyzed should in fact depend on the strength of the debuff, or just not. Some design thinking now. Lightning attacks. So like a more powerful lightning attack. And then also lightning... artifact. And I'm thinking something like light when the debuff fades, then it will, or like all lightning will chain to another, or lightning will do damage. Fire and frost don't scale. Those debuffs don't change. It's not like the more powerful one makes enemies moving even slower. Same with fire. It's not like the more powerful ones make the fire do more damage. So lightning can just be a brief paralysis, and then it's a debuff, and then it can last for twice as long. Double debuff. Does double debuff make them last twice? Because it just means that there's no... Yeah, and lightning attack should do a very brief paralysis debuff. Make exception to have duration scale with value, like with the effect of it, and then double debuff would paralyze them for twice as long, and you could have an artifact which specifically like does something cool to do with that. Okay, that'll do. Oh, there's a looter. He looks a bit weird just because of how plain he is. Like I've said a couple times before already on this stream alone, but I do very much want to overhaul a lot of the graphics. Okay, so now my guys have a chance of every time they debuff someone, and it has to be a new debuff, it can't be a debuff that they already have, they have a chance to heal. And you can see that's happening every time we see that purple with the cross. That means that they've healed a bit by debuffing someone. And I have a chance, when I debuff someone, to heal the whole army. So it does give me some incentive to be the one that's doing the damage, that's doing the debuffing. But yeah, that's pretty damn good. Nice. Yeah, orcs are OP, but they spawn in slower. But it also means you have more potential for momentum, because if you get a lot of orcs, because your goblins keep dying, if you get a lot of orcs, you will, I mean, you've just got a really strong army if you've got a lot of orcs. But they do spawn in slower. Okay, yeah. Again, I'm not really thinking too much about what I'm picking. I should be trying to get at least one combo up first. Alright, just because of what happened last time, sorry for all the interruptions, but this is game dev. I'm not here to play. I'm here to make the game better. 251. So and this is with rations level 4. So he should have a like 50% plus 50% from the thing, plus all these upgrades from and yeah, so the rations, it's like the later you get the rations upgrade, the more effect it's gonna have, but marginally. I should potentially have a health multiplier, which means that every time I get max health from something other than this multiplier, it should be, so like for example, it would be so the hero gets, why is that? Oh, okay, that's in character. The hero gets HP, gets like 1 HP each level up. The hero gets HP each level up. And so this could be times HP. Like, so I could say, oh, do they have the rations? Okay, well then increase that by 10%. So rations should be increasing HP multiplier. I could just get rid of this. Or I could just say, that's fine, it's so marginal that it doesn't make a difference. I think that's basically the answer. It's so marginal it doesn't make a difference. Yeah, let's get our chieftain. Yeah, it's like, because obviously if I'm getting 1 HP each time I level up, one max HP each time I level up, then and then I get rations which increases that HP amount, which increases HP by a percentage. That's going to be better if I get it after getting all those 1 HPs, right? The later I do it, the better. But it's just so marginal. And it's kind of like, yeah, that's a mechanic. Get rations late and you'll have more HP, but really it's best not to... That's not going to make a difference. Will anyone notice? Okay. I've talked about this before, but tough enemies are harder to spot among the humans. See, this paladin, he's really tough, and he's healing himself, and he's healing others, and he takes a long time to kill. Whereas orc strong ones are easy to spot because their orcs are supposed to goblins. Like the strong among my faction are the orcs, and they're obvious. And I think that's a feature, not a bug. I think that makes sense. Ah. There's a guy! It just turned into a human machine gun. Because I'm debuffing people, I'm like healing. Yeah, get that lord. But yeah, you like a human, an orc, a strong member of the green beans is defined by like their size. Like it's obvious that they're stronger than the others. But a strong member of the humans is more by their clothing. But yeah, we've all got poison-tipped weapons, so we should all be like getting a little bit of HP from debuffing enemies. I still find it really weird. I still find it really hard to tell who's winning because my brain. I played so much as the humans that my brain is just used to seeing humans as allies. Okay, I'm almost leveled up. Yeah, okay, we're in a bit of trouble here. Which is bad because it shouldn't be this difficult. Like, I feel like the humans are better than the orcs. Because this is on the easiest difficulty setting. Why am I losing? Is it because of like... Oh dear. Okay, yeah. So I need to like buff the orcs somehow. I think the orcs are much better than the humans, but I need to test this. And even with like theoretically like much stronger player character with all the changes I've made. So why are the humans so much better than the orcs? Why is that? Why are the humans so much stronger than the orcs? Are they even? Okay, well I've got to go. But next time I'm going to be testing out. I need to figure out why did it feel like the orcs were better than the humans? I'm not going to upgrade anything yet, although I should at least get this one, so that I can test that because I expect it to be buggy. I can unlock some achievements. Survive. Oh, we don't have one for Orko. And I didn't get any combo upgrades, which might go some way to explain why I didn't win. I need to try as Beanie and as Sean to see if I have an equally rough time. I mean, 9 minutes is about what most people's first runs look like. That's about as far as they usually get. Okay, so, yeah. I'd say this was productive. We got through, we added everything we wanted to add and cleared out the bugs. Came up with a couple of design points. Little things. Want to add a lightning buff to lightning attacks. And an artifact to go with it. Which I'll probably do off stream. Just very simple stuff. And like I did today, I'll just kind of do most of the work off stream. And then show you a little bit. My schedule is completely going to change because I'm going to be taking on a day job where I finish at 3:15. It's around the corner, so I'll be back at 3:20, play with my son, start the stream at 4 o'clock, and take you through what I went through that day, what I did that day. But yeah, if you tune in tomorrow, you'll see those little changes, and you'll see me start to produce the Undead faction, so that should be fun. All right, thanks very much for joining. Yeah, I might do an early stream tomorrow, actually, just because I think it's really fun to do the drawing on stream, because you can kind of speed it up and it looks really fun. All right, thanks very much for joining. See you guys later. Cheers, bye.